Well, it's the 28th day of February, and yesterday I walked quite a bit. I walked 7 hours. So it was right at 70 degrees. Sun was bright, and I found 2 small antlers, and right along the fence row. And it's still debatable whether that little spike is a match. They look real close, but yet again, that's going to be a call. I was going to go to the big farm today, but I wanted to walk one more time the bean field, because I couldn't walk the bean field good yesterday. It was so glary out that everything just shined like chrome, no matter which way you went. So I thought, I'll give it one more try. You know, because those antlers, to me, there should be something in there. But I started walking, and I started walking about 9 o'clock this morning. And what time is it now? It's 12:59. So what I'm about to show you, this cedar tree played a big role in what I found here. Now that cedar tree's out there in the field all by itself. And I'm going to show you the results of that. Now when I came up here, there's some fresh deer poop, and this is the strip of marascus. Of course, they've ate it off, you know, and I really didn't see any grazing, but I did see, these tracks are all made, they're fresh, somewhat fresh, because it's been made since the ground is thawed out, and it had a trail going in here. And this part of the cornfield is real small. It's only like about 20 rows at the most, and they're short rows. And I never did walk it. I walked the whole cornfield when I found that dead deer up there a month ago, and I showed you that it died in the middle of the field. But I noticed this trail going in here, and being as I'd never walked this particular part of the cornfield right here in front of us, I thought, well, what the hell, I might as well give it a try. It's a cloudy day, and you know, and this trail was leading in. Like I say, it had several tracks in it, and old track, but it was fresh track. And there were some pretty good sized tracks in there. And I didn't walk in here. There's 1, 2, 3. 3 rows in, and underneath that cedar tree, I can't believe that buck must have bedded right underneath that and got up and shed both antlers. This is what time it is. February 28th. It's unreal. Unreal. What, I think that's that 8-pointer, and there's some fresh poop, small poop right there. But I can see there had been a lot of tracks in here. And apparently, he's laid up underneath that tree. Now that wind would be blowing over him, and he'd be out of the element somewhat. And when he got up, as deer usually do, they shake their head. And we were rewarded with matching set antlers. This is a perfect side. It's sunk in the mud a little. Wow. What a find. Fresh too. Wow. That makes 4 matching sets this year. Here's the other side. Corn stalks blew in on it. And, wow. Yeah, it's fresh too. What a find. What a find. What a find. What a find. Unreal. Yesterday at the end of that video, I was sort of depressed because I forgot what, you know, you never know when antlers are going to pop up. It's just if I hadn't stopped to walk by through this corn, and this cornfield probably ain't more, this little rows here probably ain't more than, oh, I'm going to say 40 yards long that way, and there's probably about 20 rows of them. But with this cedar tree right here, he had the whole cornfield, he had the bean field, he had the tall tine tubers, and he was in out of the elements, and if the sun would have been, the sun yesterday would have been right here. So I might not have been able to see them yesterday. I was just fortunate, as you notice, look at how all this stuff blends together. That's that water hemp weed in there. But all that brown residue really contrasts up. Of course, the corn stalks, they've been blowing around. They blew over them a little bit. I don't know how many corn stalks I went to pick up and found out it wasn't a corn stalk. I mean, it wasn't an antler, but a corn stalk. Right underneath that lonely cedar tree. There's a good populace of the people in land management today that would tear those cedar trees out because they'd say it was robbing moisture from your field. Well, I don't see it that way. It leaves structure for the small birds, the quail, get underneath of them. I don't know how many times I've kicked quail out from these lone, they're eastern red cedar is what they are. And they're really prolific here in southern Iowa because the ground is so acidic, they really grow well. But unbelievable. Them are some heavy, heavy bones. Well, I got another project tonight at home. Next time you see them will be mounted. But just unreal, unreal. Yeah, well, I'm still talking about this. I think this buck is the 8-pointer that we videotaped down on the clover field on February 8th. And it was still working the tree. So he's about, right now, if I measured that, I'm not going to push the wheel that far. That's, well, yeah. From where that scrape was, I'll go get the measuring wheel just for shits and grins. Okay, that's 127. We're 0, 0, 0, we're all 0. There's where he laid down. And I'm going to try to walk down through this cornfield. I'm going to take the straightest path I can to get there, and then we'll see what time it is when we get to the other end. Like that, I'm going to go the straightest path, across the open field, down to some tractor lanes. Basically, I don't want to be wandering around, but I just want to get a measure on how distant. I say it's 127, so let's get walking. Okay, here we are. This is where we was at, and here's what time it is. 1:41. It was 1:27, and I probably could have took a minute or two off getting loaded. So, say I started it took around 8 minutes, basically 8 minutes to get here to this scrape, and I took the most direct route and walked as fast as I could, carrying a pack and everything without falling over. And there's the mileage, 2,352 feet from this scrape where we found his sheds. It was February 8th that this guy was in. You see on the video that he was in this tree at this scrape. So 2,352 feet, approximately 8 minutes away from where we found him. If this is the 8-pointer that I think it is. So just the reason I do this is because, like I said, my channel is a learning channel. It's not a celebrity, let's go find a whole bunch of sheds on, I got a new word, permission land. I'm 68 years old, I never ever heard of that, permission land. But anyway, I guess that's a lot to be said about today's society. You live long enough, you'll find yourself on the outside of the box sooner or later too. But anyhow, that just goes to show you, he was here on the 8th and went up on that bean cornfield, tall tine tubers, bedded right on the south side of that red cedar tree, and it's phenomenal. And by the way, I want to show you something. That right there is the camera that caught him on video. It's about 10 yards from this scrape. This scrape's been here since I turned this into Whitetail Institute clover, and you've seen how many deer have been on that. If I had $1 for every deer that licked that, I'd be quite wealthy. I gotta say this. I don't care what celebrity, what voice box, what gender, what hero. What you're looking at is the #1 food source for white-tailed deer in North America year-round. They've been out on this field, and I can show you video, and that's cropped down, and they still come to it. Whitetail Institute clover, #1 in the industry, and nothing compares. Nothing! These are nice. I mean, I can just barely get my hands around them. But that don't make me any better shed hunter than you or the next guy. Just get out there, have fun, and try to shed hunt where you hunt. I realize some people want to do it for recreation. And if you don't have a place to hunt, then you're up that creek, so you got to do what you got to do. But invest your time looking for what's on your property. That way, at least you know a little bit more about the age structure of the bucks on your land. And this ain't a bragging factor. You know what this is? Pure luck. Last year, I think I found 2 antlers. So it goes in cycles. Take it with a grain of salt and move on. Because I walked yesterday was 3 days, and I only came up with that little spike and that little small fork horn, and after walking that long, you sort of get depressed and let yourself down. And as soon as you do that, you take yourself out of the field, you put yourself on the bench. Don't be a bench warmer in life. Stay in the game as long as you can. Like I said, I just feel completely blessed, and I want you people. This is genuine antler hunting. This ain't no trickery in here. You got to put the time in. And there may not be nothing at the end of the rainbow, but at least you put your time in. So that's it from the non-typical.